Hi, for the folks that are just joining us, we'll give the rest of the folks who signed on to participate with us today a few minutes to join on. We'll kick off the session promptly at 11:02. It's 11 right now. Okay, we'll start in about 1 minute. Thank you for your time today. For those of you who are on the call already, hopefully you can hear my voice with no obstruction. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you on the call, thank you for joining us. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for a very special session. We want to first thank the great people at Unipro Food Service for inviting us here and giving us the opportunity to speak to great companies like you. Today, we're here to talk about solving one of the biggest challenges in food service distribution, and that's customer retention. We know that that's an issue for a lot of you out there, and we want to make the case that using intelligent, purpose-built software could potentially be the answer to solving this attrition issue. I know it's a bit of a generic title that you see on the screen right now, but the implicit message that I want to provide the audience today is centered around that word intelligent. There's a strong hint there. Intelligent software is what myself and my colleague here is to talk about today. And let's go into introductions. My name is Dan Shim. I'll be your master of ceremonies for today. I lead product marketing here at Dispatch Track, and that basically means if you have browsed our website, read any of our press releases, newsletters, viewed our case studies, or experienced our content in any form or fashion, you've probably come across my and my team's work. And I've been here for about 2 years, and I'm really looking forward to speaking with you today. I also wanted to introduce you to my colleague Arvind, who's also joining me. Arvind, can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Hello, everyone, and thank you for dialing in. I'm Arvind. I lead the product management function here at Dispatch Track.
Got it. Okay, so here's our roadmap for the day. First, we'll explore what causes customer dissatisfaction. And if you can't tell, it's never really just about one cause. There are many things that cause customers to leave. Then in the second section, we'll walk through our AI solutions and how it may hold the key to solving attrition in food distribution. And then finally, we'll open up the floor to any questions that you have about our product, about anything that's going on in the industry, any questions that you have that we may be able to answer for you. We also have an Amazon drawing at the end of the session today. For those of you who stick around, please do stick around at the end. We'll hold a raffle for all the registrants that have participated today, and we'll make sure to announce the winner at the very end. So there are two key points that I want to highlight on this slide. First, the emphasis on the word many. Customer retention issues are rarely caused by a single factor. Second, the focus is on food distribution, an industry with very unique challenges that require tailored solutions. At Dispatch Track, we recognize that retention isn't one-dimensional and the complexities of food distribution demand industry-specific attention. So those are the key words that I wanted to highlight today. Customer attrition in food distribution doesn't really have a single cause. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Late deliveries erode trust, missing items frustrate a lot of customers that are under pressure. Poor visibility and limited communication leave customers in the dark. And when drivers can't capture notes or perform on-site services, it's the brand that suffers. These touch points, when mismanaged, add up to a lot of lost business. Now, I do want to emphasize it's really important to not be too hard on yourself. There are so many causes of attrition because food distribution, the supply chain for food distribution, especially in the last mile, is incredibly complex. Whether you're serving restaurants, grocery stores, or hospitality clients, or you're juggling multiple layers like distribution centers, regional hubs, shuttle transfers, different priorities or multi-day constraints, often all of them before midnight. Every handoff introduces risk, and every misstep can lead to a missed delivery and a lost customer. And now let's take a quick pulse. We're going to take a break from the content that we prepared today to ask you a question. What's causing the most dissatisfaction in your organization? And dissatisfaction in the form of customer dissatisfaction. You should see a poll question pop up on your screen currently. Is it missed deliveries? Is it a lack of notification? We all understand that it could be a combination of things, like I mentioned in the prior slide. But if you had to choose one, we'd like to hear from you. All of these play a role, but what are particularly the problematic areas that you're experiencing right now? So we'll take a few moments to get the results from the poll question. If you don't see a poll, please raise your hand. But every one of you should see 6 choices on the screen. Okay, we'll give them a few minutes. I think I should see the results here soon. Okay, I'm getting the update that we may need more time for the polls to finish tabulating. So we'll take a few more minutes here. Okay, so let's go back over the results here. I think 50%, that's a strong number, indicated that missed or wrong deliveries caused by poor scheduling and limited communication is leading to later failed deliveries and damaging trust. So that seems to be the majority of the reasons, but pretty diverse in the responses that we got. So yeah, we understand it's an issue. We understand that a lot of these are potential causes, and I wanted to make sure that we understand what we need to do, and I think Arvind will speak more about that. The trouble is addressing all of these issues is where the challenge is. So Arvind, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can, please walk through what are the customer expectations and why are we always missing as an industry customer expectations?
Sure. So what customers want is no mystery to us. It's based exactly the basics. They want on-time delivery, they want accuracy of scheduling, they want flexibility, and they want transparency around these delivery processes. But this basic, just executing this basic consistently is really complex, and it's really difficult because there is a disconnect between expectations and execution, especially when routing and customer coordination are handled manually or even with software which have limited capability. As you can see, there are some headlines from a lot of last mile or delivery disasters that we see in the food industry. There are recalls. There is crates and crates of delivery going wrong. It's perishables wrongly labeled, and there is spoilage. Next slide, please. So for example, let's walk through a scenario where all these simple things that we believe are simple, yet they come out to be too complex. After all, aren't routes just instructions from getting from point A to point B? But I think, and we all believe that they're not at all so simple, not at least in food distribution. A simple route which requires to take certain items or certain goods from point A to point B may work for other merchandise type, but food is different. Planning a route means accounting for driver availability, customer time windows, vehicle management, issues around profitability, compliance, on site service needs, and of course, the ever organically changing traffic situations. So every delivery becomes a strategic operation. And without the right tools, it's nearly impossible to get it right consistently and just simplify the all the complexity involved in the entire process.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning here what seems like a really easy process, getting from A to B. If you look underneath the covers, what you see on the screen is our routing dashboard that essentially brings all these different factors together and generates a really effective and beautiful route. But what's going on underneath the covers is a ton of optimization. And would you walk us through real quickly, Arvind, what's really going on behind the scenes when we have what seems like a simple route at first, but doesn't really seem to be the case when you have all those different factors?
Absolutely. So a simple route that looks so simple from the outside has a lot of constraints baked into it. Now imagine there is a logistics provider delivering fresh seafood to 5 restaurants across a metro area. Uh, while distributing and delivering, they have to face a lot of constraints around perishability, around specific time windows, around limited storage, limited cold storage, traffic patterns, and a lot of other constraints that come into this space. That's why every route becomes a strategic operation. So in order to solve this complexity, that's where a dispatch track comes in. So we believe that AI is not just a feature that fills in some gaps. It is a fundamental capability to solve for this complex problem. It helps us take into consideration all these constraints, simplifies the complexity, and just makes the system more and more efficient. So it's a big uplift in terms of our capabilities of what we can do while delivering and distributing. So I'll just take an example, just simplifying from an understanding perspective what we do. We all have seen like ants, they just taking one single line and moving just after each other and never deviating from a path. It's just basically not a very blind behavior. It's the most optimized behavior that ants take. The reason being, there are certain algorithms that ants favor. Similarly, in our AI systems, we utilize the state of art algorithms, especially the ant colony optimization algorithms, to define the most efficient and most uh, easiest, simplest form of transposition of the complex situation that we have when we move stuff from destination A to destination B. So there is no guesswork. Everything relies on hard data. Everything relies on actually reinforcing the feasible routes that we have with our state of art algorithms. And that's how we come at the most efficient and the most reliable routes when we move stuff from A to B. And that's where dispatch track fills in and our AI capabilities fill in.
All right. So if you take a step back and look at this from a conceptual point of view, there's really no shortcut here, right, Arvind? You're basically laying out all the different possibilities. With this ant colony optimization, you're trying everything. It's actually a lot of brute force, right? Just trying everything, all the different possibilities, and whatever ends up being the most optimal one is the one that it chooses. So there's no shortcut here, right? It's really trying all the different options. Is that fair to say?
Yes. So what we do is we come up with every possible scenario that a
Mm-hmm.
particular movement from point A to point B can go through with all the constraints baked in. And then out of these possible n number of possible scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
we pick up the fittest few and then we reinforce them with uh, uh, what our customer needs, flexibility, given time windows, and a lot of other constraints on top of the most feasible routes. And then we suggest the most optimum route based on the AI intelligence, based on customer preferences, and based on any specific need for that particular movement from point A to point B.
Got it. And it's also worth noting before we move on from this page, this is really DispatchTrack's AI supporting our route optimization capability, right? Creating the routes. And I think this is a good segue for us to ask the next poll question to the audience. And I know this is a little bit from left field. Why are we talking about customer communications right now? And it's a little bit of a hint towards our next section, but let's answer this question real quick, if you don't mind, to the audience members. How do you currently communicate with your customers? And I would say that when it comes to food distribution, communication is just as important as the routes that you're creating. You have to make sure that the customers are aware that the delivery is pending. You also have to make sure that either the sales rep or the customer service rep calls the customer after the delivery has been completed to make sure that they can work on their next orders, the next week's order. So that type of communication needs to happen with customers. I'd like to understand from the audience members, what are you currently using? What channels or vehicles are you using to communicate with your customers? You may be using multiple, but we're forcing you to choose just a single option here, the one that you use the most. Okay, so we do have the results here. Surprisingly, a lot of live calls. A lot of live calls. 4 out of the 13 respondents have said that live calls is the best way to communicate. 2 out of 13 mentioned emails, not really exclusively text messages, and then more than half of you responded with all of the above. So it seems like there is a good amount of communication taking place. Now, before we move on to other forms of AI-based solutions within our portfolio, I want to briefly talk about DispatchTrack's AI philosophy. And the reason why I want to bring that to attention is because we don't really believe AI should be isolated to a narrow use case or a single persona that's within your last mile operations team. We believe that AI should empower every role, every route, and every result. Although we just discussed our routing technology so far, our full breadth of AI-powered solutions span the full delivery lifecycle, from routing to delivery execution and customer communication. And they're designed to work together, sharing data, surfacing insights, and automating decisions in real time for not just a few, but all the personas that are operating in your last mile organization. So you could see here, we have a full portfolio of solutions. We went over intelligent routing. We also have what's called DT Agent. That is customer communication that's LLM based, providing customers automatic updates. And we also have something to support the drivers called Driver AI, which is real-time on-the-road AI support. And really, this is a good way for us to make sure that throughout the delivery lifecycle, we're able to provide different forms of AI solutions, addressing different parts of the problem so that you could retain your customers and make sure that they're happy. So let's go over one of those solutions, one of those new solutions that we released last month in May. So DT Agent, excuse me, is our AI-powered customer assistant. It answers common questions, enables real-time delivery updates, and allows customers to reschedule and escalates only the complex issues if a human agent is necessary. It's branded to your company's tone and operates 24/7, keeping customers engaged without overwhelming your existing team. We recently introduced this to our furniture and appliance customers in May, and the results have been very good. We do want to make sure that we're really clear about what we're trying to accomplish here. The goal of DT Agent is to provide what modern customers want, an always available companion that is accessible on their mobile phone. Modern customers don't want to call a dispatcher. They want quick answers with a text message if possible. And quite often the questions that you're getting from these customers are often the same and routine questions. Where's my delivery? Can I leave a delivery note for the driver? Can I reschedule? DT Agent handles these in seconds while learning from each interaction to make sure the next interaction is just that much better. We also have a way to bring this to life because even though we released this just last month, we were able to onboard a few customers onto DT Agent already. So let's bring this to life with a little bit of a case study example. CBC Moving is a third-party logistics provider that serves multiple regions with a very, very lean team. We met with the owner, Cesar, who was interested in adopting DT Agent because the team members were simply spending too much time addressing simple questions from customers. They were dialing in, asking about their delivery, but they also had a whole bunch of other routine questions like, what is my ETA? What is actually in my order? I need to make some changes. These are routine questions that previously human agents needed to handle. And let's be really clear, if a customer does come, even if their question is very routine or simple to answer, you just can't ignore it, right? You have to really show a degree of courtesy and professionalism to customers to make sure that you're able to respond to all their questions, but you're limited. You only have a very limited team. They have limited bandwidth. So deploying DT Agent to address a lot of these questions is what CBC Transport was looking to do. And some of the results are pretty impressive. So 70% of CBC's inbound inquiries are handled automatically now with DT Agent. With DT Agent, the automated responses to customers were handling routine queries. For the escalated queries that you just needed a human agent to handle, DT Agent was able to provide the contextual information that the human agent needed. So the human agent didn't really start from the very beginning, asking the customers the same questions that the DT agent already asked the customer to tease out the real crux of the issue. The human agent has that contextual information, so he or she can address that customer's issues proactively and really quickly. It also uncovered a lot of key delivery details from customers, how to access buildings, what's the parking situation like, and the customer feedback post-delivery, providing if a survey was provided to customers after the delivery was over, the responses from customers talking about how effective the DT agent was and how effectively it captured any sort of changes that they wanted to make. That was overwhelmingly positive from the customer. So we're really happy to hear that from our customer, CBC. Here on the screen, real quickly, I wanted to show you, these are actual conversations that have taken place between CBC and DispatchTrack's DT agent. So on the very left, you'll see a real example of a customer who was basically informing the CBC agent to not unpack the box because it's going to another location as soon as it arrives, and that delivery instruction was appended to the delivery notes automatically. Same thing on the right, you'll see an instance where a customer mentioned last minute that there's not a delivery even though the ETA has passed. DT agent apologizes for this convenience, establishes the fact that the delivery is in fact late, and escalates that to a customer service representative who could assist further. Okay. So now after DT agent, we wanted to move into something that's more appropriate for the field, and that's driver AI. And driver AI is what we intended to create for the drivers out in the field. Driver AI is a real-time AI-generated audio guidance with a clear contextual preview of the next stop on the route for delivery drivers. And I think the biggest goal that we had for this one is to make sure that the AI that's typically centered around headquarters, typically centered around where the data congregates, there is an opportunity to extend that intelligence to the field as well, to provide the essential information that drivers need to execute their jobs successfully. And by essential intelligence, we're really talking about the job type, whether it's a delivery, pickup, transfer, or a return. Intelligence around the location. What type of location is it? Is it residential, commercial, summary of the neighborhood, details around the building, access points, is there a gate code that's available? These are all essential intelligence that's synthesized into an audio clip available for the driver as he or she is moving on to the next delivery. Now let's see if we can, this should work. Let's see if we can actually play a clip, a sample clip of that audio so you can get an idea of driver AI in practice.
Hi, your next stop is 300 Orchard City Drive, Campbell, with an ETA of 1:15 p.m. This location is a multi-story commercial building in a vibrant area with retail and office spaces near downtown Campbell. Expect heavy traffic during weekday mornings and evenings due to nearby offices. Delivery should take approximately 10 to 15 minutes. The building has an elevator, and no gate code is required for entry. On-site parking is available, but can become crowded during peak hours. Follow specific delivery instructions. Use the entrance.
Yep. I must have cut it off. Sorry about that.
Hi, your next
We'll
stop
play it
is
again.
300 Orchard City Drive, Campbell with an ETA of 1:15 p.m. This location is a multi-story commercial building in a vibrant area with retail and office spaces near downtown Campbell. Expect heavy traffic during weekday mornings and evenings due to nearby offices. Delivery should take approximately 10 to 15 minutes. The building has an elevator, and no gate code is required for entry. On-site parking is available, but can become crowded during peak hours. Follow specific delivery instructions. Use the entrance in front of the VTA station and avoid scratches for the Scandinavian chairs and mahogany dining table.
Okay, and excuse me for playing that once more. That's it. 30-second audio clip available for all the drivers in your fleet. And really the goal of driver AI is to deliver actionable intelligence to the people who carry the load, literally. Every delivery demands a lot from the drivers, and it's easy to get overwhelmed in that role. Look at all the things that a driver may need to balance and juggle while they're on the road and trying to make every delivery successful. The parking situation, the traffic, different customer requests, any sort of on-site services that need to be performed, the presence of a gate code if necessary. What exactly are we doing there? Is it a delivery or a pickup or a transfer? Details around the building access. These are things that the driver was really left to fend for his or herself when they're out in the field. The intent behind driver AI is to provide them bite-sized insights and intelligence right before they're about to make the delivery in the final 50 feet so that every delivery will become successful. So having said that, let's do a quick recap. We walked through our artificial intelligence-based solutions for routing and optimization. We went through DT Agent, which is really intended to provide an always responsive option for customers if they have any questions around their delivery, both in a B2C and a B2B setting, by the way. And the third option that we just showed off was Driver AI. Driver AI was really our intent to put intelligence out into the field, make sure that the drivers have all the brief location intelligence that they need to really successfully deliver. So having said that, I do want to hear from you. Do you currently use any AI-based solutions now? And it could be in the realm of the three that we reviewed today. It could be something completely different that you find to be very effective. Please provide us what you're using, if any. If you're not using anything, please put in no. If you are using something, please type in yes, and what are you using? And this is really nothing else other than what we like to understand. What are the prevalent solutions out there that are AI based? And potentially we can look into that as well so that we could cover different aspects of the delivery journey as we iterate on our AI portfolio. So please let us know if you are currently using any sort of AI based solutions, and type in your responses. Okay, and I don't know if I see anything. I don't think I will see the results now, but I'm looking forward to seeing them after the session is over. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that all the answers have been provided for us. Okay, and now that we have a few minutes left in our time, I wanted to open it up to the audience, and I will also ask that Arvind rejoin me. Arvind, can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Okay, so if there are any questions from the audience in regards to any topic that we discussed today or anything else related to DispatchTrack or the food distribution industry, we'll leave it open for any questions. And let me see the chat box here. Yep. I beg your pardon. Trying to get to the chat box. Okay, yeah. So there seems to be a question here. Is this something that's available for food distributors, the AI solutions that you mentioned today? So the route optimization one is available for food distribution. The other ones that we recently introduced, DT Agent, we recently introduced to our B2C customers and furniture and appliance. It's been really successful. We have no doubt that it'll be just as impactful for food distributors. We will be migrating that capability into our food distribution solution really soon. Same thing for driver AI. They recently been made available for other industries, but we are working aggressively to make them available for food as well. Okay. Any other question? I'm trying to look at the chat box here. Give me 1 second. Oh, sorry. Arvin, do you have anything that you'd like to point out before we end the Q&A? I don't think we have any questions coming in.
Sure. So one thing that I wanted to point out, as you've seen, like DT Agent is our customer communication first AI solution, and the driver AI is more introducing AI capabilities to the field for the drivers specifically. But one thing to notice is all our systems talk to each other. So if you pay attention to the DT Agent, the conversations that it has with the end customer, and if there is a specific note of instruction, for instance, what you saw in the driver AI, that you need to somehow make sure that there are no scratches on your mahogany table and chairs, that piece of information actually came in from the DT agent with an actual conversation with the customer and then was passed on to the driver, and which led to the specific instructions for the driver, which actually plays a great which plays a big role in making a delivery successful and improving the customer experience.
Right. And you know, another question just trickled in, and that's really in response to the customer is asking, we expand warehouses all the time, and the number of warehouses that we have is changing dramatically year over year. How would the route optimization be able to factor that in effectively? So yeah, I mean, I can answer that. That our system is designed to not only capture the changes in warehouse, but there's a lot of other things that we mentioned that our route optimization engine can handle. So not only just the number of warehouses, but how many trucks do you have available for that day? And then for every truck, is the driver available for that day? Those are other considerations that will dramatically impact the routes that you can create. But also, when you introduce new warehouses, that really changes the dynamic. Going from one warehouse to two warehouses is a difference between night and day. So being able to accommodate and actually assign the right trucks, so you're minimizing distance, minimizing time, maximizing capacity, all that will be factored in by our route optimization engine. So the short answer to your question, yes, warehouse is not a problem. Not only that, but we could factor in other variables in your business to make sure that the routing is accommodating your true operations. Okay, we'll go ahead and end the Q&A session there, but we do want to bring out the Amazon drawing. What other AI functions are in the roadmap for your product? So do you want to take that on, Arvind?
Sure.
Yeah.
So just to take a step back, we believe that AI is not a thin feature or a thin layer on top of our product. It's a fundamental capability to solve problems and to solve difficult problems in the most efficient and scalable way. So we have a lot of other empowering features in our roadmap, starting with we'll be building an AI ML layer on top of our already AI assisted routing engine. So that could learn from real-time routes that you create and suggest you more and more optimized routes with more capabilities to support constraints, more capabilities to support specific use cases on the fly. Then we as I said, we have our AI roadmap for our customer communication. Right now, the DT agent is capable to support all your customer questions, including rescheduling your deliveries, In the future, we were working on it, but we'll be able to support taking surveys, taking your social reviews through the DT agent right there itself. The customers won't need to go to a separate link or maybe need to go to a different location to fill surveys or to do social reviews. We'll be doing that through the DT agent. And then we'll be also forwarding the AI layer on top of the data that we have. Today, we generate reports for all the events in the delivery lifecycle, but we'll be adding an AI layer that gives you on-the-fly analytics abilities within the product itself. For instance, wouldn't it be good to know for a dispatcher to ask specific questions around maybe which deliveries, what kind of deliveries, what job types have gone beyond the service time that was allocated for these deliveries? What's that number? So I'm just taking an example. You can ask multitude of questions. On top of that, we're also building on-the-fly capabilities to do dashboards on the information and the data that we have in our system. And we have tons of last mile delivery data. So you will be able to get the most out of the system in terms of the business intelligence powered by AI.
Yeah, thank you. And there is actually, oh yeah, did you have anything to add?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, thank you for that, Arvind. And yeah, please stay updated with Dispatch Track for any sort of new emerging enhancements, product enhancements that we're going to be bringing out. We will make sure that we announce that on the webpage. We also have a customer newsletter that we send out regularly to our existing customers to introduce you to these new capabilities. There is a question from Martin Clapp. You keep saying route optimization. Is this the same as routing? No, it is not. And I'll tell you what my definition is. I think definitions will differ based on who you ask. When it comes to routing, using simply the word routing, I equate that to be the simplest version of the route, which is going from point A to point B. Like Arvind showed earlier in the call, where you basically go from origin to destination, and that's basically a route. Everybody will call that a route. Route optimization, I think, is different. That's the layer of optimization that we'll add on with our engine to see if that route is actually best when it comes to profitability, if that route is even feasible when it comes to matching the equipment that's necessarily for the route. So you can create a route, but if you don't have a reefer truck, or any sort of appropriate equipment to transfer that route is no good. So routing and route optimization, in my opinion, is different. Routing is the simplest version of going from A to B. Route optimization is making sure that you're able to balance that across a lot of different dimensions so that you have the most effective route when it comes to profitability, distance, equipment matching, technician services, all the stuff that needs to accompany that delivery for it to be successful. So Martin, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so congratulations again to Afrain Nunez. We'll be in touch for your Amazon gift card. And I also want to thank Unipro and the members of Unipro one more time for providing us this opportunity and this platform to speak to you. We're really excited about our innovations in AI and the fact that we have a portfolio of AI solutions to offer our food distribution customers. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. And if you want any more information about these products or anything else within our portfolio, please reach out to me. My name is Dan. You'll see my email address on the screen there. Happy to answer any questions that you have and direct you to the right person within our organization so you can get more details. Okay. Oh, sorry. One more question from Martin. You might be missing my point. I'm sorry about that. Could you replace RoadNet? Yes, we can. And we have a lot of customers who have migrated from RoadNet onto Dispatch Track. Not only because the routing is more sophisticated, but it's easier to use. So we can talk more about that with you, Martin, if you are interested in it. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.